2025 is officially coming to an end. My name is Julian Gonzalez, and I'm joined here by the famous...
My name is Carla Carderera, one of the managing partners of UpFront CPA.
Thank you for joining us today. I wanted to start a new tradition here at UpFront, where at the end of the year, we're going to do a recap, right? Mm-hmm. I want to talk a little bit about kind of some of the things that we learned. Just kind of a recap into some of the things that we see from the past year, some of the things that we see coming for the following year. Because one of the things that we like to do here at UpFront CPA is to educate our audience, right?
Right. Definitely, especially this year, since there were so many different changes overall in the economy, in the IRS, optimization, automation of services. It was a year of a lot of changes.
Yes. From beginning to end, it was definitely a challenging year, mm-hmm. for sure. We noticed it with our clients. We noticed it in ourselves,
right.
How, from the beginning, coming from a new administration,
mm-hmm.
new changes, mm-hmm. Moving parts, mm-hmm. A lot of ambiguity at the beginning with, talking about the new tax laws that were going to come out, right. People getting ready for the new economy, that things were changing on that front as well. Mm-hmm. We see kind of a reduction in the economy. Right. And so, it's I think we want to do a fun discussion today into doing that recap, right? So we learn from the past, mm-hmm. and we kind of can apply some of the things into the future. So so let's begin, as we kind of already made this introduction into the year, right? Some of the challenges, right? So as Carla said perfectly, it was a year of transition.
Right.
Yeah, it was a new administration that came in. It was the new bill, the one big beautiful bill that ended up being what ended up happening. That there was a lot of discussion into what was going to happen, what was going to be introduced into the bill. It was a lot of negotiation, but mm-hmm. it ended up passing, and we had this big beautiful bill passed, right? Yeah. And so it changed things, right? Some for the good, most of them for the good. It depends on how you look at it. Mm-hmm. But it created some opportunities, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And so what we try to do here at UpFront CPA is always, whether we believe that where there's a challenge, there's an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So we kind of got ahead of the curve. We learned a lot about what this meant for our client. Mm-hmm. So we try to come up with strategies and ways that we can to help them, right? First, going through this transition, mm-hmm. and then secondly, just work with them to kind of get ahead of it and be able to use those strategies, mm-hmm. To maximize whatever the bill situation, mm-hmm. from the bill, because there was a lot of things that were included in the bill. So we want to make sure that our clients took full advantage of that.
Yes, and I actually noticed a lot of our clients already calling us ahead of time.
Yeah.
Our clients are definitely looking into planning for 2025, of course, and then for 2026 and going forward. So I actually thought that was a positive change that we saw this year versus 2024.
Absolutely.
A lot of planning, which is great, and it's definitely what we recommend to our clients.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the positive things that we saw. More involvement from our clients, more they wanted to be, Mm-hmm. So in from one side it's good. It's a little bit, makes us a little bit busier, right. But it's also good to see more involvement from our clients. It's definitely positive. Mm-hmm. So another thing that we saw, it was a lot of more IRS enforcement.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely. A lot of letters.
Yes, a lot of letters. Some of them that made sense, some of them that didn't make too much sense, right?
Not too much detail, because
right.
they don't put a lot of detail in those letters.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's part of a new sort of a new strategy being done in the IRS, where they're automating certain things. They're clearly trying new ways to improve internally how they assess our taxes and all the forms, whatever missing forms, whatever missing tax situations where it wasn't so automated, they seem to be kind of automating that process. So that also has some good and some bad, right?
Right.
The good is they're getting updated, right? And they're sort of making that process more efficient.
Yeah.
If they make it efficient for them, they make it more efficient for us.
Mm-hmm.
But like everything, the beginning is never easy, right?
Right.
And like Carla mentioned exactly, we can't tell you how many letters we had to read maybe 10, 12 times to try to figure out. And then when we contact the IRS, it almost seems like what was on the letter versus what they have on their system,
Right.
it doesn't align.
Exactly. And then just so that you know, we are used to seeing letters from the IRS and all that correspondence because that's what we do every single day. But you as a client, don't get scared if you see a letter. It doesn't mean that it's something bad.
That's right.
It just some research needs to be done. They are maybe the letters because they're asking for something, they're missing something. It could be a lot of different things. So just that the fact that you get an IRS letter, don't panic. It's okay. We can work it out. We can investigate. We can call. There's a process that can be done.
That's right. Yeah, and what we've learned through the years is the worst thing you can do is not answer.
Not respond.
Not respond.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the worst mistake.
Correct. The IRS, what they like to see is that you are on top of it. As long as you're taking care of it, you're making an attempt to work with them with your situation. You are making your life easier.
Right.
The more that you extend that process, the harder then it becomes to work whatever situation out. So like Carla said, if you have we always it's one of the services that we offer our clients, right? That peace of mind. Nobody likes to call the IRS. We haven't had the first client that it smiles saying, I need to call the IRS. I'm so happy about that. It's probably never going to happen. But that's what we do here. Right?
Exactly. Don't put it on a drawer because we've heard that too.
Right.
Clients put the letters on the drawer because they get scared and they forget that it's there. No, do not do that. Open it as soon as you get it and start doing research. Call us right away. There's no need to panic if you get a letter from the IRS. It could be many things.
That's right. Yeah, and then I think, finally, one of the last things that we're kind of noticing is, we kind of getting ahead of clients, they're acknowledging into what some of the upcoming challenges for them, right? There's inflation pressure, there's high interest, margins are tightening. So what we mentioned earlier, a lot more involvement, and it was kind of preparing for the storm, right?
Yeah, something along that line that we saw this year, especially in 2024 and 2023, we were doing a lot of tax planning. In year 2025, we saw more cash management. Correct. Because of the income going down for a lot of the businesses. And that definitely turned us around. But again, it's something that we can help the clients through that process. You see your income going down, but things can still be done to turn it around.
That's right. Yeah, it all comes to planning, right?
Exactly.
And that's why our main service is the tax planning and the tax advice. Because cash is king, right? You can't operate if you have no cash to operate with. So we see that as part of the challenges from our clients, and but the good thing is we come up with a plan, right? Exactly. And we obviously all our clients are different. It's different industries, different situations, but there's always a solution, right? And but it's part of the involvement that we saw from our clients. And I think one of the biggest challenges for us, as probably I wouldn't say as a firm, but in our industry, is to turn around the concept of tax preparation versus tax planning. Correct. Right? Where it's like it's no longer about just showing up in April with a book set of paper,
Right.
and they say, okay, let's just minimize taxes, right? Our conversations with our clients is always around what's best for you. And the more that we're able to, and not just us, and I would encourage like anyone seeing this video that has their own accountant, is that they keep an ongoing relationship, because this is not a sprint, right? This is a marathon that it needs to be done throughout the year, and and it's not because just out of the blue that is something that we want to do. It's actually for your own benefit, right?
Exactly.
Because it's if I tell you that tomorrow you gotta run a marathon,
you don't start training today.
You don't start training today, right? I mean, you could do it.
You can pass away.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna. If you can finish the marathon, you're probably gonna at best, your good luck with your knees, right?
Exactly.
Or being able to get up the next day in the morning. And that's just the physical part, but there's also the mental, the emotional, right? Oh man, I have to do my taxes. It's, it's I think there's a study where like it's the level of stress and anxiety during tax season for people goes skyrockets.
And that's why we learned also this year a lot is that we have to be our clients' advisors. We have to be their trusted advisors.
That's
so
right.
You don't meet us only, like Julian said, when it's time to do your tax returns. No, at that time it's too late. Trust the process that the accounting needs to be done, but then the actual analysis. And we have to put our minds together and come up with different plans and different strategies. And that's when we give the advice to you as our client. And that is priceless. That is something that if you don't have a CPA right now in which actually sits with you in the office, in person or virtual, whatever the case may be, but it's something that you have to do it. It must be done.
Yes, it's the difference between being reactive to proactive, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're reactive, you only limited to so many things you can do under pressure. When you're reactive, you have room to maneuver. You have more choices, and you have time to come up with the best strategy that works for you. So that that's kind of one of the themes for this year. Another thing that came up was the investment complexities. Right, and one of the reasons for this was as part of the big beautiful bill is we had some opportunities in terms of deductions and depreciations that we can take advantage during the first year, right? Which is the 100% or the bonus depreciation getting back. So that created some investment opportunities in real estate. Also for certain companies to invest in equipment, to expand their operations. And one thing that we saw was an increase, especially in the part of cost segregation. Right?
Real estate.
In real estate above all. It's one of the strategies that we worked more closely this year, where we saw the highest benefit for some of our clients, where they're able to maneuver, right? Like some of the tax, some of those amounts due, that they can work with some investment opportunities that are gonna really reduce,
and the cost segregation, if you don't know what it is, look for some information, but it's something that definitely needs to be planned and needs to be planned well. Because if you don't utilize it correctly, it can hurt you also.
Absolutely.
So definitely work with a professional. It's a seed that we're planting in your head, that option is there, but it needs to be done correctly and with somebody that really knows the material.
That's right, yeah. That reminds me, I did a full video on cost segregation.
Yes.
So feel free to go watch that and get some information around, kind of some of the details. But exactly what Carla said, it's a good thing to keep in mind, especially if you're looking, if real estate is an area where you have some interest on, it's definitely a good idea to pursue. Another one that we saw, big theme was what I like to call the small business maturity, right? And it's something that we've kind of worked with our clients, is to turn around the mindset of, oh, I'm just a small business. I don't, why do I need tax planning?
Why do I need an accountant?
Why do I need an accountant?
I can do my own accounting.
Do I need QuickBooks? So it's that theme where if you don't consider yourself a business, you're not gonna run like a business.
Right.
And you really can't tell you how that there is a component there of mindset where if you can really kind of be limiting yourself in some of the things that you can do as a business, as a professional, if you don't plan like a business, if you don't see yourself as a business, and if you don't act accordingly.
Exactly.
Right?
Even if you're a small business, you should always operate as if you were a huge business.
Absolutely.
Always from the beginning.
Yes. And then it's we found it in some industries more than others, right? Where it's like, well, I may not have like a steady income, so because of that, I shouldn't do payroll, or just sort of like kind of like a self-limiting.
Right. Don't invest in marketing, for
right.
example.
Yeah, exactly. And it's always like such an interesting thing to watch, because and it's not even the income what sometimes drives, right? That we've seen like certain industries or prospective clients that are making pretty good money, but for whatever reason they don't want to make that step into being a serious business,
right?
And they just, the limits that they put on themselves, it's gigantic. So right. But we've seen more and more kind of that mindset shift where it's like, well, maybe you're right, maybe I should do payroll, maybe I should invest in marketing. Why not expand? Like, why do I need to keep things the way they are, and possibly maybe not have a business, in the future, just because I just got stuck.
Exactly.
Right? So we did see a lot of that. This year, there's just more awareness, right, into opportunities. There's kind of like a bit of a shift that we're seeing more into entrepreneurship, right? Yeah. People looking to start their own business. I can't tell you how many prospective clients came through our door where they were on a W-2, and now they're shifting over to like 1099 independent work.
Yeah. And with that said, though, there's some planning that needs to happen in that case as well, because we have also seen clients that start a new business, for example, and they register in the IRS to get their EIN, and from the get-go, open an S corporation.
Yes.
You need to get a professional advice.
Please don't do it.
Don't do it.
Yes.
Get professional advice, because there is a strategy behind it as well. Yes. So you need to seek advice from the beginning. Even when you are considering opening your own business, you already need to start meeting with professionals to make sure you make the right decisions. Because if you do not, believe me, it's going to cost you a lot of money later. And we have seen it. That's right.
Yeah. It's sort of that silver bullet advice that we want to get away from, right?
Right.
Every case is different. Everyone is different. A TikTok advice may apply to 5% of the people, and it might make no sense for you. So, like Carla said, do some research, seek advice. Just spending a little bit of maybe a consultation, if you reach out CPA, can really go a long way into saving tons of money, just because the guy in TikTok doesn't care, right?
Or maybe their message didn't really pertain to you.
Exactly, because it's a silver bullet. You know, it absolutes almost never work, right? And especially in a country like ours, that are there's so many nuances, right? Into tax law, into exceptions to rules, actual rules, requirements. S Corp has some requirements that some people may not be aware of. So yeah, it's definitely something to look into. But yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, that's kind of some of the things that we saw this year. Some positive changes. The biggest one for me is that shift into more of an entrepreneurship. I love to see, and it's kind of changing the setting of how like people are kind of doing things for a living.
Yeah, and something that we did as a firm this year, and we definitely advise it to our clients, is the continuing education. Right, Julian? We went through some trainings, we traveled, we went to some conferences, and it's not only what you learn in those conferences, you're learning also from people that have already done what we are doing, and we get to learn from them and their experiences too. That plus, this is a fast changing world. Things change by the minute. And if you don't stay up to date with the changes, you're gonna get left behind.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's a ton of value in educating yourself.
Right.
And there are every industry has opportunities there. And luckily, I haven't found one industry where if you look some research, there couldn't be maybe some kind of expo or class where it can actually where they'll where you can network, where you can learn technical things to kind of improve your knowledge. And it's exactly what Carla said, that the technical side is changing almost daily.
Exactly.
And speaking of that, in the technical side, on the technology side, is something that at UpFront CPA we've put a lot of effort in, a lot of resources. We are what we like to call high tech, high touch, right? One of the things that we see in our industry, learning from other CPAs and clients that come from other CPAs, is the lack of personal touch interaction between client and practitioner, right?
Exactly.
So what we are doing is we're using technology to kind of help bridge that gap.
Yeah, because a lot of people think of investing in technology is to actually lose that track with their client. A lot of clients think that's what we do. We have a portal, use the portal, but it's not to automate it, to make it necessarily easier for us. It's for us to automate the processes so that we have more time to actually sit in these meetings with you, which are very important for us to have with our clients, because there's tons of value that come through those meetings. We definitely know and learn more about the clients during those meetings, during that time that we spend together asking each other questions, than any other time throughout the year.
Absolutely. It's a collaboration, right? Because the whole point here is if you do well, when you run your business well, nobody knows more about your business than you.
Right.
So what we like to do is sort of that collaboration between you and what you're looking to do, your ambitions, your how you operate, with the tax opportunities, with the efficiency, with the with the cash management aspect, and kind of make a whole strategy around it where we exchange ideas, right?
Exactly.
And it's through that exchange of ideas that usually the best strategies come up.
Yeah.
And especially when we have that one-on-one interaction, whether it's through a Zoom meeting or in person, it always seems to work really well. Our clients really like it, right?
Definitely. They definitely see the value. They tell us actually after the meetings with them. So if you're currently going through your planning and your budget for 2026, technology, education is something that has to be included in those plans.
Absolutely. What should be included in your plans too is, let's talk about a little bit about clean books, right? Because although it's not a popular subject in terms of there's some work around getting your books in line.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a tedious process, especially when there's no accounting background. And even if there is some accounting background, it's sort of a specialized kind of process that is being watered down a little bit, right? It's really hard to make good decisions without clean books.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, that's your foundation.
Yeah. Numbers tell us a story.
Exactly. And there's a video about that. Right?
There's a video. Watch
it. Exactly. The numbers tell the story, and you want to have the right story, right? Because if your numbers aren't right, it may not be the right story to tell.
Exactly.
So clean books are obviously something important.
We did see an increase this year with people wanting to clean up their books. A lot of people being more focused on their financials. Correct. And wanting to see their financials. So that was a good thing to see.
Absolutely. Yes. And and it's sort of like the bookkeeping part, right? Which it tends to be sort of like in the priorities.
Right.
And to me, it has to do with the bookkeeping word itself, how it mixes with the kind of like the overall strategy that seems like maybe the simplest or maybe the low-hanging fruit. But it is an important step, and it's one that has to be done right.
Correct.
And it's something that as an accountant we learn, right? It's sort of like maybe the basic part of our profile, or but it doesn't lose the importance of just because a friend of yours tells you that they can do the bookkeeping and then they'll take care of everything.
Right.
It may sound easy, but it's not. That's not whole.
No, definitely. And if it's something that you're thinking about, again, it's something that should be done throughout the year. Not wait until February when you have to give your profit and loss to your tax preparer or to your CPA to prepare your taxes. You don't want to rush and have to do everything, because believe me, you're going to make mistakes. You're going to miss things. You are going to forget things, for example. So definitely books is something that should be worked on throughout the year. Definitely don't wait until last minute, until you have to do it, because you have to have your taxes done.
Yeah, especially when it comes to the documentation part, right? Because there is that component. We're supposed to document what we do.
Yeah.
We're supposed to keep certain receipts. We're supposed to do invoices.
Correct.
We're supposed to be able to provide some kind of documentation to support the business that we're doing.
Right.
So that's where like the bookkeeping part kind of becomes a big part of the whole process as a whole, right?
And then to talk a little bit, because with the bookkeeping and closing the year and everything, do you want to talk real quick about like actually getting your taxes done? What do you think about people that want to file an extension on their taxes?
I think an extension it's basically kind of like a benefit that if it's used correctly, it helps. It definitely doesn't make sense, especially if you have investment, if you have pass-through entities, that you file an extension.
Yeah.
Okay? But we have to remember, just because we file an extension doesn't mean that we don't pay, right?
No,
on April 15th is when our payment is due. So we can always request an extension, but you should do it strategically, that if that you're gonna make some payment, that you have an amount due, that you put in enough estimate and that you follow the safe harbor rule,
Exactly.
right? And that you avoid penalties.
Right. Exactly. So if you are a client that didn't do bookkeeping, for example, throughout the year, it's still better to file that extension to do your bookkeeping as clean as possible before you actually file the taxes. And like Julian said, without forgetting that you should actually make estimated tax payments to avoid the penalties and the interest and all those fees that sometimes are hidden in your tax returns. Some clients don't even know that they actually pay penalties for underpaying their taxes. So definitely, as an accounting firm, sometimes we will advise the client to do the extension because it gives us more time as well to analyze, to really look through things before actually filing and not rushing through things. Because the one thing that you do not want to do is rush your CPA before filing your taxes.
Absolutely. Yeah, and rush at the expense of doing it wrong. And then getting penalties, getting errors, missed opportunities. So there is, and that's a very good question, there are some benefits to extensions when done the right way.
Right.
Now, you should always ask your accountant if they're automatically doing extensions for you, right? Because we've seen that. And although it may not be a problem, because you can file an extension and still file within time, right? Where it gets tricky is if that, for whatever reason, that CPA or that tax preparer already files extension, and then you go to a new one, there could be some issues there in terms of filing and what's been filed, what hasn't been filed. Is there an extension? Is there not? You try to file an extension, you might get an error because somebody else did it for you.
Exactly.
So definitely look into that. But yeah, good question. And kind of continuing on that is the famous do-it-yourself strategy, right? And it's something we always try to work, right? It's and it's we're here in the United States, we have so many opportunities,
right?
And there's a lot of information to walk through, right?
Yes.
And we are involved daily into tax law,
right?
Into what works, what doesn't work, what does work, how, right?
Exactly.
So we're maybe in a better position to kind of determine those things, right? If someone that just starts their own business,
right,
it might be hard. A do-it-yourself strategy might seem like a good idea in terms of maybe what you're looking that you are saving. But it's always the situation when they show up, when they go to our office, or when they actually look for advice, it's too late.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So maybe, they're not really saving at the end of the day.
Right,
because they're paying it in taxes.
Correct.
You're practically giving it to the IRS.
Correct. So the last thing that you want is kind of put yourself in a situation where you're set up as a target for an audit, for a review.
Correct.
Just because you thought you could do it yourself, and things didn't go well, right? And it's especially true for businesses, right? Because and this is like because we always ask our clients, right? Like, what's your priority right now when you're starting a business? Is to get your business off the ground, right? Is to position yourself to be the best version of your business that you can be, right? Whether that's generate sales, whether that's in the professional, in the service industry, in the sales business, whether you're offering marketing, whatever the case, right? Your priority is focus on your offerings, on your service, right? If you're spending too much time researching, just kind of figuring out what I need to do.
Do I need to collect sales tax?
Right.
For example.
Correct. Yeah, how many times our clients don't even have don't sell anything, but they're set up for a sales.
Exactly. They register with the state of Florida, right? And they have a resale certificate, and they don't know they have to, even if they don't make any sales or didn't collect any sales tax, they still have to file even if it's a zero return.
Correct. And then they're wondering why, and we see that quite often.
Yes, we
right? So, so the do-it-yourself, focus on what your business is, leave that part to professionals. There are options for you. You don't have to spend a ton of money. Right. For example, at UpFront CPA, we offer packages for startups, right? We do. Where we do, maybe offer some consultations rather than retainer. Right. And so we work with our clients to make sure they get off the ground, and we can build a long-term relationship, right? So yeah, I think let's focus a little bit on what we were able to offer, right? This year. Yeah. So this year we focused on, number one was the tax planning. Correct. Right? We wanted to position ourselves to be, the best tax planners we can be. We spend a lot of time and effort working through our clients, different strategies. I'm proud to say we saved a ton of money. A lot of clients that were just doing things either incorrect, didn't have the certain things that they didn't think of, that we were able to kind of come in and help them. At the end of the day, that's the value that we offer, right?
Definitely. And we definitely saw from clients that we filed 2023 taxes but then worked with us through 2024, and when we filed the 2024 taxes in 2025, we definitely saw, when you saw we saved the client this much money, we definitely saw that in numbers. And that's a great feeling, right? As an accountant, when you see that end result, it feels great. Yes. It feels great to us, and it's a great communication with the client.
Yes, and we see it in our clients too, that peace of mind, right? Exactly. When we have those quarterly meetings, when we have that, right now it's December, just last week we met with our clients. Yes. And we see that kind of that weight off their shoulders when we looked at where they are, what strategies we can utilize before year end. Definitely. And it's, we just kind of make it easy for them, right?
Exactly. It's that peace of mind. They can literally go to bed and not have to think about, am I going to get a letter from the IRS? Am I going to be audited? Did I do this right? It's just that peace of mind that working with us as your trusted advisors is definitely a plus for our clients. And I saw during, like Julian said, during our meetings, how grateful they were.
Absolutely. Yes. And if I can provide an example, we just had one recently that received a letter from the IRS, kind of went from what it seemed the letter was saying, and it turns out that we advise to give them the IRS a call. We couldn't do it ourselves because normally we can be your POA and call on your behalf. In this case, we're not the POA, so they call themselves, and it turns out that the issue was completely different. Right. And they had no plans to call the IRS prior to meeting with us. So we can just kind of go through those last nuances and last details, right? And it's kind of part of that continuing communication and building those relationships long term that are just gonna kind of pay off at the end. And so that was one. Another one is just walking through, the letters, right? IRS letters. It's no one wants to deal with IRS letters. I would say there's a low percentage of people that actually read them, right? Just because they're scared. They basically, and I understand, right? If a regulatory agency is sending me some kind of
definitely,
if it's yelling at me for whatever reason, I'm already
nervous.
I'm already nervous. I'm already anxious. It's hard to just kind of read through with a sort of a mindset, right? Yeah. And kind of make that determination where it's like, okay, I need to do this. So it's something we offer our clients, right? Look,
Right.
it's that peace of mind. As part of that is,
Exactly.
we'll just send us your letter. We'll go through them. It could be an action, it could be a no action emails. There could be a mistake. But yeah, it's something we worked this year, right? We kind of because we saw definitely
big increase.
A big increase.
Big increase in letters from the IRS. Yes, but definitely what we tell our clients too is we are business owners ourselves. We are entrepreneurs as well. So we also feel a lot of your pain points too as a business, right? Trying to grow a business. Of course, we are the experts in accounting. That part, we have it down. Right? But there's other parts of the business that we have to focus on, like marketing, sales, better communicators. Absolutely. So that's something that, again, we can identify with our clients because we feel what you feel as well as business owners. That's right. Yeah. And there's if you become a success, right? It's a success story for us. Exactly. Right. We are part of your story. We are part of your story. We want basically successful businesses to continue to expand. Correct. And we celebrate your victories with absolutely, you. Absolutely. We work with you to make sure you're in the right position to continue. Right. But I think so if we gotta say, Carla, like what are we looking forward to next year the most? Let's talk a little bit about that. So we're finishing 2025. We have a new year. We have the big beautiful bill. Yes. There's some opportunities coming. We're super excited. Some of the strategies that we've already kind of put together for our clients. Yep. We'll see them materialize this year when we do the tax prep. So 2026 is looking like it's going to be a year full of challenges, right? But also opportunities. Opportunities and learning. Yes, learning. We do see, we still seeing that trend going up, right? Entrepreneurs coming and asking for information, meeting with us. We do offer a free consultation, right? We like to call discovery. Correct. Where we talk to potential clients, startups, all the way from established firms to startups. Definitely. Go to our website. You can look, in our website is a list of all the services that we offer. Our packages are there as well. And then you can book these discovery calls directly through the website. Absolutely. And in there, we're going to talk about some of the things discussed today. Right. Yeah. So, like, for example, the benefits of prioritizing advisory versus compliance, kind of taking care of that tax planning. Yeah. We'll talk about, some of the things that you got to, like, for example, the startup cost, kind of work through doing a projection. Right. For this year, like sort of a short-term, longer-term planification, and just help you get you off the ground. Right. Oh, and something that we should also mention that is a big change in 2025. If you are an HOA, a homeowners association, there's a lot of changes that were established in the state of Florida in 2025. You really have to pay attention to that because there's a lot of changes coming. Definitely look into it. Give us a call. We are actually working with a lot of different homeowners associations and working through those different new reporting, audits, and things that have to be done for HOA. So please look into it. It's a very important point, a big change that happened in 2025. Absolutely, yes. And it's sort of like one of the biggest industries we're working right now, right? It's the HOAs. Right. If you haven't, we encourage you to go to our website and subscribe to our newsletter, because we have a ton of information there that we share with our clients or potential clients or our followers, right? About the new HOA regulations, some of the news that are coming out of why these new regulatory things are happening, why you may need to look for or what to avoid as an HOA. There's been a lot of focus on our firm
to help, because there's a lot of help needed in that area.
Definitely.
Yes. But yeah, that's a big one for 2026. As I mentioned, the big beautiful bill. Some of we kind of seen some of the fruits of the education to our client from the shift to just show up in April to kind of working throughout the year, right? And then seeing the benefits of doing that advisory versus that compliance. It's definitely something we're looking forward to 2026. We're also looking forward to like just expanding technology, right? AI is just becoming more and more part of our lives, whether we like it or not, right? And just like every tool, right? You can use it to expand your business. You can use it for your own benefit. But overall, what we're seeing is where people might be scared about, AI is gonna take over my job. What we're seeing is the opposite. It seems to be helping more people just get more done.
Exactly.
We see it in our firm, right? And it's part of our high-tech, high-touch strategy.
Exactly.
We're using it to help us where, some things would take 5 hours to do. It's better if it takes us 2 and we can use 3 hours to talk to the client, right? And especially in our industry where CPAs are historically really hard to find, spend ridiculous amount of hours at the expense of their families sometimes.
Exactly.
To see that transition into more technology being used for our benefit, and I like to see more of that.
Definitely. I'm definitely very excited to see what's to come in 2026. Again, 2025 was a great year, but it was a year of a lot of challenges as well. A lot of growing pains, a lot of changes. But definitely looking forward to see what 2026 will bring. I'm looking forward to working again with our clients. Again, those clients that used our advisory services during 2025, and we can materialize the impact that we made in their businesses once we file their tax returns and finish the actual year, the entire year, which it ends with actually filing your taxes at the end of the year. So I'm definitely very excited to see that whole process.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much it from us. So it's been an exciting 2025. I think 2026 is gonna be even better. We're looking forward to it. If you like this video, please follow us. Go to our website, check our newsletter. We have exciting stuff there. We like to educate our clients. So yeah, become part of the UpFront family. And any way that we can help, we'll be happy to help you. So thank you again, and we hope to see you soon.
Bye.